Well, 2015 is pretty much over. We're wrapping it up in a couple days. Um, and it was kind of a big year for me. A lot of things happened. A lot of good things, mostly good, happened in 2015. Probably one of the most significant years as far as the amount of change that happened in my life. So I just wanted to make a video reflecting some of that. And I'm just going to preface it by saying that I have this little kitten that is running all over the place and probably making ruckus, making some noise. So if you hear odd noises, it's her. So I decided last year about the same time, when 2014 was wrapping up, I decided that I was going to start 2015 being completely out to everyone that mattered, anyone that was in my life, anyone that needed to know, friends, family, even like doctors and everything like that, anyone that mattered basically. So I started out my year by finishing coming out to the last wave of people that I hadn't yet come out to. So I started 2015 out, and that didn't go so smoothly at first. The first few months were kind of rough, actually, quite rough. My family was not okay with me being trans. Some of them were really against it. I had my youngest brother and my sister that's just younger than me were both really supportive, and the rest of them were either very against it or somewhere on the neutral scale, but towards not really supportive, especially the first few months. Things kind of started turning up though as the year went on, and it's gotten to a point now where everyone uses the correct name for me. They still use the wrong pronouns, some of them, and won't call, like my mom, she won't call me her son, and she still uses all the wrong pronouns for me, but she uses the right name, and she doesn't make adverse comments anymore about things regarding my transition. She doesn't show displeasure with my happiness anymore. So let's jump back to beginning of 2015. I was working as much as I possibly could. I was shoveling driveways for extra money to put towards chest surgery. And I did not have a car, so I was spending a lot of time outside in the cold, just commuting to work, and then having to shovel on top of that. But it was worth it. It paid off, and I ended up being able to schedule my surgery. I was able to reserve the date by April. I was able to project that I would have the money by the time that surgery came, so I was able to schedule that by April. And from December to March, I was really working on getting all of the things I needed to have done in order to be able to start testosterone, seeing all the right people, getting all the right paperwork filled out. There were a lot of complications with just the wrong not the right people being there at the wrong time. It was just, I didn't say that right, but it was just nobody was there when I needed them, and I just had to keep on rescheduling and getting things passed from person to person. But I was finally able to start in May, and that was just probably the absolute highlight, finally starting testosterone. Let's see, leading up to when I was able to start testosterone, that was like March, April, May. Those 3 months things really, even though it was stressful, not knowing when I would be able to start hormones, it was a very exciting time because things were all looking in the right direction, and I knew I was going to be able to start, and just my mental health was kind of at its best, and that it had been in a long time. And of course, spring had come, and a horrible, horrible winter had ended, and things were looking up, and I just incrementally happier, and it hasn't seemed to really stop. Like, I've just been getting more and more happy with life and more content, and yeah, it's just been a good year. I ended 2014 with cutting off some very significant people in my life. They were at one point very, very important to me, and I thought that I wouldn't be able to pretty much survive without them. But they had shown themselves to be very not supportive of who I am as a person. They were supportive of who they wanted me to be, and I wasn't who they wanted me to be anymore. Among other things, it wasn't that simple, but because of various reasons, I had to cut them out of my life, and that was very hard. That made the start of the year pretty hard, but as the year went on, it's been almost exactly a year to the day now since the last time I really had a conversation with these people, one person in particular, and I honestly have never been happier, and I'm almost shocked at how well I'm doing without them, and sometimes feeling shocked that I'm doing well without them, and other times feeling like, why did I ever think I couldn't survive without them, because I'm doing so well now. How I see myself, I've never seen myself in this healthy of a view before. I've never cared about my well-being the way that I do now. I've never been this confident, and I've never been this content just with who I am. Hormones has helped a ton with that. Both the changes that I've seen on hormones and the mental contentedness that it's given me. That was one of the biggest changes this year that has helped me be able to get to the place where I am now. And then in August, the end of August, I had my chest surgery done, and that was the best investment I've ever made, without question. It's made a huge change in my life and made me drastically more comfortable with myself. As far as like relationships, I met some new people and have made some friends that I'm very glad to have made, and I think for the most part I had already lost everyone that I was going to lose by the time that this year started, so I don't think that I really had to close many relationships this year, but I did make some new friends. Have not dated this year, but that's been a good thing. It sounds so cliche, but I really have had time to focus on me, and it's been a good thing. I'm sorry, my kitten is really making some ruckus over there. Yeah, that's another thing that happened this year, was I got a puppy and a kitten, kind of expanded my family. Yeah, that being said, I'm open to dating now, but I'm glad that I had a year to excuse me. I'm glad that I had a year to, over a year actually, to really focus on myself and grow as a person. I feel like I've learned so much about relating to people and how not to relate to people. Some of those things I had to learn the hard way, but that's that's okay. I learned, and that's what matters. Um, so yeah. Let's see. There's got any more that happened this year. I got a used car, which I have mixed feelings on. I needed it to be able to make some of my longer commutes, like to appointments and stuff. When I first started shots, especially, I was having to rely on my dad letting me borrow a car, or my brother letting me borrow his car, so I could go and get my shots. And now I'm doing them at home, but I still have therapy appointments occasionally, and it's just nice to have something to not need to rely on other people, basically. I still use my bike to commute most of the time, you know, for work and everything. So, yeah. I don't know, this has just been a good year, and I really feel hopeful for 2016. 2014 was the worst year of my life, probably, as far as the things that I had to go through and the lessons I had to learn, the people that I had to lose. 2012 to 2014, they were just super hard years, and this year things really started turning the other way, and they've honestly just gone up. Nothing drastically bad has happened this year, and that's incredible. I really didn't know that I could be this content and this happy, and I am genuinely just so excited for next year, because I feel like things are just going to keep getting better, and I love life, and I love experiencing things, and I'm healthy enough to experience things now, which I guess I really don't talk about it much, but you know, the way that my eating disorder has affected my life this year has been the least affected in several years, and I've been able to just experience life, and that's really fantastic. I think that's all I can think of right now. I'm pretty distracted by my kitten, so I'm gonna go and play with her, I guess. This is long anyway, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about 2015, and I know I left things out, and that's fine. It's okay. I'm gonna go play with my kitty.